Verstappen's future with Red Bull has been brought up yet again as the four-time world champion is now facing some serious issues headed into the 2025 season. Helmut Marko has spoken up about the clause in Max's contract, and considering how close these two are when it comes to their personal life, the words of the veteran Austrian should be taken with huge concern. With the 2026 rules right around the corner, can we see another massive shake-up in Red Bull? And if so, what's next for both the team and Verstappen? There is no doubt that Verstappen has been one of the hottest topics over the past year, especially since the RB20 started to show struggles that have translated to the RB21, with Lawson being replaced after 2 races, a decision with which Max was not all that happy. The understanding of the F1 world is that the problem isn't with the driver, but the car. This is why a promotion of Tsunoda came very early in the 2025 season, as fixing the RB21 will be the primary goal of the Red Bull drivers through the next couple of races. However, if a cure isn't found for the tyre degradation and the overall imbalance of the car, Max is very likely to seek new pastures for his career. This has been spoken about by Helmut Marko, as the special advisor in Red Bull now believes there is a very strong possibility that we are going to see Max depart Red Bull based on their performance. Every top driver has an exit clause in his contract, and it's something that both Marko and Horner have been speaking about very loudly in public. When talking about it to a greater extent, the veteran Austrian shared the fears that we might be looking at a very difficult period ahead for Red Bull, as he added, upgrades are needed for Max to win his 5th world title. That is our big goal, and the whole team is working hard on it. Of course, every top driver has an exit clause if performance is not good, but they are all tuned differently. This is not a topic at the moment. The exit clause could become a hot topic around the summer again, but please, we are second in the Drivers' Championship with a deficit of 8 points. The summer break is still a long way off. Furthermore, Marko has gone on to confirm that if Verstappen is no longer part of the team, then there is no position for him anymore with the Austrian squad either. The time frame for Red Bull to fix the issues with the RB21 has been set to the summer, which is still a long way to go, but on the other hand, it would definitely mean that they will lose a lot of ground when it comes to fighting in both categories. McLaren do seem uncatchable with the pace they've presented in the first 2 races, and if the first upgrades don't work as they're intended to, then Max's talent can only do so much. There are a couple of things that are very obvious right now. Red Bull is struggling, and Max is pouring all of his energy into trying to navigate the engineers to work in a proper direction. However, a very strong fact that has been admitted by Marko is that Verstappen is not very happy with the decisions of the team to demote Lawson after just 2 races and not focus on the car's development instead, even though the official statement of the team said that the promotion of Tsunoda was brought precisely to achieve this goal. When talking about Max's satisfaction with the latest development of events in Red Bull, Helmut has gone on to say, "We know Max is not happy, but we need 2 cars at the front, not only for the Constructors' Championship, but also to help Max get his 5th world title." It is funny to see that we are expecting a completely different Yuki this year. He has made no mistakes in the first weeks. He is fast, has a new management, and is full of confidence. The situation in Red Bull has been very difficult since Newey left, and although the entire trust of the team shouldn't fall on one person, it is likely the case with the Austrian team. Yes, Adrian didn't have a lot of influence on the RB20, but once the car started to show flaws in its development, the team would have killed to have his input regarding the potential solutions. And to make matters worse, Marko admitted that Red Bull is missing Newey a lot because he would have been quite effective in the process of making the car a lot more competitive for Verstappen. When talking about this, which is, by the way, yet another strong reason as to why Max would consider leaving Red Bull in the first place, Marko said, "Of course, we are missing a man like that. A Newey is a Newey, but we are a team of almost 1,000 people. The crew behind him was built up gradually. It is true that the RB21 is difficult to drive. The Racing Bull is easier to handle and very fast on a qualifying lap, but in the race, it lags significantly behind the Red Bull racing car. And here is a very defeating statement about Red Bull. The team has come from winning 21 out of 22 venues in 2023 to comparing their car with the sister team and which one has stronger performance over one lap. I know what's in your mind. The comparison has been made as an explanation for Lawson's demotion, but the fact that the team has reached this point is defeating, to say the least. And if you were Max, you would of course be mad that the team isn't listening to anything you have to say, but instead would search for a second driver who would magically find performance out of the car. This would be more than enough for you to depart to a team that is on the rise, seems to have fixed their performance issues, and do stand as the second force in the Constructors' Championship right now, and of course that is Mercedes. The combination of Russell and Antonelli is one that Wolff has put a lot of trust in, but on the other hand, if the opportunity is presented in front of the Austrian, I highly doubt that he'd have the same attitude. Throughout the series Drive to Survive, we saw that he is very committed to bringing Max into his rows, and although that narrative changed once Max put his commitment to Red Bull again, it's very likely that this could come back round again. On the other hand, if you were to ask Wolff about the future of the drivers' lineup, you would meet a very diplomatic response that did leave a small opening for Verstappen in terms of his drivers having to meet the criteria before they're extended on a longer term basis. To the rumours that Max is going to be a part of Mercedes soon, Wolff said that the long-term contract they are preparing for Russell is going to put a halt to all of these talks. But what is worth mentioning is that the commitment from his side wasn't as big as a couple of months ago when everything was on the table. When talking about this, he went on to say, "It's almost an open secret that we want to keep our drivers for the long term. We don't make every discussion we have with the drivers public, and that's why this is going in the direction it should be going. But such a contract is more than just giving the driver the guarantee that he will be in the car. There are conditions that you have to discuss in the interest of the team and the driver, so it's a structured process." This is why the statement of Zak Brown shouldn't be taken as a cheap dig towards Red Bull when the boss of McLaren has started to speak about the future of the four-time world champion. According to Zak, Mercedes has the biggest chance of signing Verstappen as early as in 2026, and a very good ace they have in luring the services of Max is the engine. The new regulations will favour Mercedes and Ferrari a lot more compared to the other teams, and even though we are going to see other teams being highly competitive as well, it's definitely not going to be the same as the experience that these two teams have. When giving his own verdict on Max's future beyond 2026 and the new regulations, Zak Brown said, "Oh, I think Max will leave at the end of this year, most likely to Mercedes. There's been talk of Aston Martin too, with Adrian Newey joining, but as great as Adrian is, and he is the greatest ever, you need a whole team around you. You need the culture, and that takes time. If I were betting, I'd bet on Merck. In the last 10 years, they have won the championship 7 or 8 times. Last year, they won 5 races. They have stability, and we know Toto likes him. And I think we all feel the high performance powertrains is best equipped on the power unit side heading into the new engine regulations next year. Plus, Russell is out of contract at the end of this season, and Antonelli will be on a series of 1-year contracts. With all this in mind, do you think that Verstappen is going to bring a new silly season in 2026? And if so, do you think that Mercedes would be the team to lure him to their rows? Let us know in the comments below, and once you do that, make sure to check out the video that's appearing on your screen right now.